Welcome to another panel, Mind, Body, Spirit panel, part of the APL show. That's Angels, Positivity, and Love. We have 50 episodes in 2023 of the main show. We're booked into the spring of 2024. We have some incredible high caliber guests, but guess what? Every guest is special on this show. They've been getting leaky-eyed, teary-eyed, a lot of compassion coming in, some yawning. People are sharing a lot on the show. Don't miss an episode. And for that, you need to subscribe. Please share this too with friends and relatives. Also, like and comment. You help us with the algorithm. You get the show out to others. This is free. So please, and it's very special too, because we have not just photos of angels, but these guests are meeting angels before the show, after the show. That includes full-on seeing. And we've had a couple of very cool guests, I can't really say who have gotten to connect with, and that means see, feel, and hear. This defies logic, defies possibility. They're relatives, loved ones. Two in particular, one before the show, I was really nervous about that. Would the person actually be able to make it onto the show, stay intact? I would crack up if I was seeing my relative. They did great. And then a person who had their relative come in during the show, they're in another country. And then after the show, they got to see full on their dad, since no one knows who that is. So there's a lot here. That makes this a very special, unique show. I'm going to mention my services. Hit my website up, michaelandreford.com. You can see photos of angels. There's 99 testimonials. I have 7 people working on that 100th testimonial. And in a way, I think that's the message here. And I will have coffee mugs for sale soon. It's easier to buy the coffee mug than it will ever be to listen, see, feel, get a hug from an angel, get healing, get all your answers. And that's just the way human nature works. And we have 3 incredible experts coming on today to remind us all that no matter what our life story details are, no matter what our situation is, financial, relationships, we're in a pinch, health issues, it's not about the details in one sense. And they are going to do a bang-up job because they've all been on this show before. They're all incredible. They're all healers. They have very varied backgrounds. First, we have Amy Stark wearing the blue shirt, but the long blonde hair, who just waved. Stark Transformation Show, she's the host. Hit up starktransformation.com for her website. She's a healer. She's got a bunch of modalities. I love her energy. I've had her on twice. So go check out her origin story beginning a year ago, episode 2. She helped this show out tremendously by coming on. And then recently, episode 34. So Amy, thank you for being on the show. You are incredible.
Michael, thank you for having me. You're a beautiful man.
And just don't forget, Amy Stark's a great judge of character too. Okay, next. Rachel Garrett, RN, CCH. That just means she's got medical experience extraordinaire. But so there's the science side, but we're talking modalities up the wazoo. I'm using an expression I haven't said in years. She has so many modalities, I can't even mention them here, but total healer. So she's also the host of the Spiritual Spotlight series. Both of these 2 guests have been kind enough to have me on their show. You can find her at akashicangels.com. All these details will be in the notes. You don't have to remember anything. She was on episode 11. And again, you can hear her origin story and her amazingness there. I encourage you to hit the play all on a lot of these lists on the YouTube channel. Not only does that help us out by getting us a lot of programming, but you could be vacuuming, reading, taking a nap, and just let the conversation in the background sink in. It's how I work. I have to watch a movie 50 times before I appreciate all the details. And I'm still shocked when I watch it the 51st time and I'm like, how did I miss that? Angela, Angel-A on Amazon Prime right now. You can watch that from Luc Besson, who did The Fifth Element, who did The Professional, who did the Transporter series. You can find that on my suggested reading list at michaelandreford.com. Beautiful guardian angel movie. There's something in that movie. You'll watch it 10 times. You will miss, I guarantee you. And if I told you what it was now, I'd blow it. But it is a shocker. Last but not least, our most fantabulous Ursula Lentine in Atlanta, Georgia. Her website, Ursula, just as you would spell it, lentini.com. I've got to take a second for her. She has it in her blood. It's in her heritage, in the lineage. It's a healing family all the way down the line. And Ursula does a fantastic job for folks. Incredible. Check out her website. She spent a lot of time. If I had to pick somebody who was a walking metaphysical, this isn't going to do justice, encyclopedia, but actually in action, it's her. She knows her stuff. So I want to thank Ursula for being on the show. Rachel and Ursula, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, first question. Here you are on a panel. Everyone's going about their lives. It seems like right now, and this is just maybe me, but spirituality is even a bigger industry, a bigger business, bigger topics. Everyone's got, you got to do this, you got to do that. Meanwhile, everyone's living their own unique life. They've got their personal story, their challenges. I think a lot of people would say, if it's a scale, are they having more fun? Are they love? Are they light? Are they doing exactly what they want to do, their passion, versus all the hubbub, the peaks and the valleys out there. The scale probably for a lot of folks is tipped, especially this economy. Pick your obstacles and challenges. What would be the core reminder from all of you to the audience on how to keep it light and keep taking one step at a time on their life path? And who would like to go first on this?
Wow.
Yeah, no, we're only going for the $1 million question right up front. Amy, since you said wow and you cooked your goose, it's the holiday cheer. We're going to have you go first on just a quick reminder on that. It's obviously, it can seem like Kilimanjaro or K2 as a struggle. You're feeling like you're slogging along every day. But what's your reminder to take a breath, slow down, and put things back into perspective? The Einstein quote, which we'll get to in a little while.
I would say one of the fastest ways to change your mindset or switch how you feel is to ask yourself this question: how is this happening for me rather than happening to me? That will get you into more self-reflection and actually get you into the parasympathetic mode, which, is going to be where you're going to see more available options. You're going to see how things are actually happening for you and how maybe you created some of it and it was unconsciously created, but like you can now, because you've taken back your power, you can create something different. So that's what I would suggest is doing a little bit of that inner reflection and saying, how could this be a good thing? Like, there's got to be something that I'm learning from this. How can I use that to propel me forward and not end up in this place again, or to find the beauty that is around me all the time?
Wow. And that was really powerful. If you wrote that down on a legal pad, a lot of people might have just a panic attack or PTSD writing the question down. They're like, well, why did I just get into 3 auto accidents in a row? And you just, you get triggered. So go for a walk after you write those questions down and then start listening to the universe. But Ursula, can you run with that ball here and take us?
Well, nature. So back to the parasympath, getting back into the state of parasympathy when we're in balance, because the stress level will come down and then the clarity will come through. So I totally agree with you, Amy. So 20 minutes minimum, and then not just go for a walk. Do not bring your phone. And specifically listen for the birds, touch the bark of the trees, spend about 5 minutes barefoot if you can. Even in the winter, it's surprisingly not as cold as you think it is. And that will ground and it'll recalibrate the system so you can have clarity.
Ooh, and then we're going to Rachel next, but I'm going to also warn all 3 panelists what's going to happen. Very unique moment. One of you is going to get a chance to ask the other a question, and then it's going to be slingshotted around like a pinball machine with a lot of lights, a lot of excitement. So prep those questions now while Rachel's talking. So Rachel's off the hook. She's not going to have to do that first. She just has to carry on with the conversation the way it's been going right now. Rachel, what have you got for us for that life advice?
So I think for right now, for a lot of people who may be going through a spiritual awakening, is to, one, remember that you're not alone, that somebody is always with you, either your loved ones, angels, guardians, and to also be present. So, I mean, both Amy and Ursula mentioned that, to just kind of sink in, be present with nature, be present with yourself. And I think to take it another step is to ask for signs. When we're being bombarded with, outside stimuli all the time, we may not trust exactly what we're getting. So for me, it would be sink down into your heart, maybe take some, grounding deep breaths in and out. If you can go outside, great. If you can't, and then just be present and then ask for a sign. Is what I'm seeing real? Can an angel come into me? Can a guide come into me? Whatever you're looking for, whatever you're seeking. And I think the biggest thing, and I'm going to hit on this a couple of times, because for me, we're going to the holiday season, which I feel like can be isolating and lonely for a lot of people, is to remember you're not alone, and people always will support you and be with you and send you love.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to digress for just 1 second before we do questions to each other. We're going to blow a little sage, but I'm going to ask some basic questions. Do angels exist? Amy.
Yeah.
Did you see one just before the show floating by?
I did. Yes. He was telling a dad joke right before we started, and there was a little angel that went right behind your neck.
And I'll tell that dad joke in just a second if I can remember. Ursula, do angels exist, guides, your loved ones?
Of course they do. Every session I do, I call them in. You know, we check in with the breath, like focus on the breath, and then they're the very next thing. We call them all in. The angels, the spiritual helper, our guides, our higher soul, and especially the ancestors. They're all here. Why wouldn't we ask for help?
I love it. Okay, so where do rainbows go when they're bad? Prism, but it's a light sentence. Okay. I'm lighting some sage. People have seen this on every show, every panel. Just allow for the smoke to come through two screens. You're in Tijuana, you're in Haiti, you're in Guam. Don't know why I'm saying Japan, but you're wherever you are around the world. And it doesn't matter if it's 5 years in the future. Allow for a little bit of smoke to reach you. And then we're always linear. We think a situation's a situation until we think it's not a situation anymore. And then we allow for growth. But same thing for the sage smoke. Let this be the example. Why just settle for some sage smoke? I'll blow it out in a second. Get flowers. Lorna Byrne got daisies and roses in Ireland, didn't smell sage. Jennifer McLean got 3 types of flowers in Laguna Niguel plus the sage. Who knows? Spin the wheel, but ask angels to do the work. Sit back in life a little bit more and let that universe deliver the goods. That's kind of, to me, what I would add to that prior conversation. Let everyone else do the work. You still have to set your intent, which we're going to do next. I'm blowing some sage to everybody. Who wants to volunteer first what they're catching? You might catch tobacco if it's Native American chiefs kicking in and just spoofing you a little. It might be sweetgrass, sage, daisies.
I got pine.
Pine, nice. Thank you, Ursula. Amy, what are you getting?
I actually got campfire smell.
That's this.
Yeah.
Okay, and Rachel, what are you getting?
Sage.
Nice. Okay, now I'd like to set my intent. I almost forgot, but because Rachel's did such a good job of reminding us all to pump the brakes, I would like to just thank these 3 guests. I've gotten to know them all. I've done a lot of interacting with almost all of them, and I'd say all of them. And I am just so thankful to have made their, what do you call it, introductions, to have them for company. I'm going to lose my words here in a second, but I'm just super grateful for Rachel, for Ursula, for Amy. Thank you all. Happy 2023, happy 2024. And may tons of love, compassion come your way constantly. Again, whether we know it all. And for the audience, I'm doing the same. I'm getting goosebumps. May you be whooshed right now. Put your hand out. Feel what you can feel. Let angels come in. And I'll put a couple angel photos up. Then we're back on track. You guys are going to be in deep trouble asking each other spiritual questions. But here are 3 angels. Joy, who's the emotion Joy, the ambassador, the one everybody meets. A teacher named Charlotte, and a professor, my guardian angel, Min. You can see them on the website. But you can feel what you feel. Don't judge. That's the trick on everything. That's the opportunity on everything. It's just pump the brakes on thinking and knowing and judging and allowing a little bit more. We're only talking like 7% a week and you win the lottery. And these are the professionals you want to grab to help you get out of your own way, to get straight like an arrow and boom, hit the bullseye, whatever the bullseye is. Okay, back to the business. Who has an amazing spiritual question to apply on another guest here? We've turned this into a game show. Who has the first question that is, and I can give that question if you want, but Amy, do you have a question for Ursula?
I do. I actually wanted to ask the ladies, like, what is one of your favorite stories of transformation that you've seen with a client? Like one where you were like, this is why I get up every single day and do what I do.
Rachel, you want to go first?
Sure, absolutely. I love it when somebody steps into their power, into their truth, into owning who they are as an individual and their spiritual badass self. Like, and to know that maybe I helped a little piece of that, you know, people who step out of fear, step into, you know, what's possible for themselves. And I've seen that with a lot of my clients, you know, and them just having that aha light bulb moment, like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And I get that all the time. So I don't have like this beautiful, like, oh my God, like all these transformational moments, but feeling like the energy coming in, seeing just that aha moments. That's probably my favorite thing.
I love
How about
that.
for you, Ursula?
My favorite one is a measurable one, because as you know, we can all tell it's hard to measure the unmeasurable. But this lady had, and she lets me share her story. So she had cancer and it was getting bad. And they said, well, we don't have treatment for this. Only 3% chance, that you're going to make it through with our, new formula. So she's like, okay, let's do it. But Ursula, let's really do it. So we did the Pranic Healing. We did internal family system. She changed her relationship. She quit her job. She just did the deep, deep, deep work. And this was several years ago, and she's thriving today. So that's one that we can measure.
I love that.
How about for you, Amy?
Actually, I think I would talk about this woman who I was called in to teach EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. And it was a school. And so you have to teach the parents and the teachers and the administration first, so you could then teach the kids. And I asked for a volunteer. And when this lady said that she wanted to work on sugar addiction, I was like, oh man, it's Christmas time. Like, this is hard. But we did. And I started tapping and talking with her, and she, is like, starts to get upset. And I'm like, oh, let me tune into like the larger picture of things. So I see there's a man standing behind her, and it's a loved one who's crossed over. And I'm starting to think that she shared sweets with this person. And I'm starting to get that picture coming to me. So I said, do you have a sugar addiction because you generally have sugar with somebody important to you? And she said, yes. And I was like, oh gosh, okay. Now I'm like, this man is in spirit. So I was like, is this your husband that used to have these sweets with? And she's like, yes. And so tears start coming down her face. And I said, he's telling me that it's really important that you stop having so much sugar. She's like, I know, I have, type 2 diabetes. And I was like, whoa, this is more than just a sugar addiction, so I said to him, what can I tell her that would replace that for her? Because that's why she's doing this. Like, she knows that this is what you used to do, and she's repeating it and thinking like you're across the table, and that's how they're sharing the sweets. So he said he wanted to walk in nature with her. So we're tapping and talking, and he says, I want to communicate with you through nature. So the next time I came back, it was Christmas break. I go in to go teach these kids at the EFT, and she comes running up to me. And she's like, I don't have to take my medicine anymore. I don't have that particular diagnosis that we were working on. My doctor says that I don't need that medicine anymore because I don't have any problems with regulating my sugar, because I'm walking in nature with my husband now in spirit. So that was one of my favorite. Like, I was like, that's cool. And that's why we do the work we do, because, something as simple as, she was trying to ease her pain with something that wasn't very good for her. And she just needed to know how else she could connect with her husband and not be in that pain of missing him. So she's like, I walk all the time.
I'm going to just kick in 2 cents here. And that was a beautiful story. Thank you, Amy. I'm going to just mention something it's a little glib, but in your hands, you can be gifted light, so that when you open up the hands, and this will short circuit a lot of brains so that your jaw drops and you're like, oh my God, but you can have a fairy show up this big in your hand waving high. But this is the same fairy you could see as a 14-year-old out in your backyard, whether she's leaning out from a tree. You can see your relatives, you can see angels. That is a beautiful moment for people that defies all of the way we roll. It's not ontological shock. You're going to be fine. Some people, it does take a year or two to completely want to talk to me again, but most people actually bounce through it, no problem. And they've gotten their answers for life. So the one other thing I'd just like to mention is you can shut your eyes. And I still think it's important to have your eyes open and get some sort of an experience, at least a little bit of light on your ceiling or something gentle like a heart in the air. But when you shut your eyes, you can actually hang 10, go surfing with angels, or hang in ancient Egypt, or just in an oasis with a bonfire. All your relatives get parked far enough away that you don't get off target for what the purpose of the get together is with hundreds of angels. You can do Q&A, you can share food, you can have a a healing ceremony. It's really up to you and angels, Native American chiefs, guides from India, figures. The one thing I say is don't be that pious person who goes in and says you're just going to sit in stillness with them. No. That's not going to work. You need to engage. You're going to be engaged. Angels are going to let you sit there in silence. This is all of us have unlimited opportunity for growth and expansion. And I'll end with that. So to that point, can I ask a personal question of you all? Just tailor it how you will. You don't have to share anything. But if it's a cocktail party, how have you seen yourself expand? Because I feel like it's happened in the last 3 years for all of you, whether it's at the business front or personally or both, since it's really the same. I think we had even touched on that before the show. Who wants to volunteer how they've seen their own personal growth blossom, that they've been able to breathe more, just enjoy more, trust more their skills, and sort of a personal, not war story, but like peace, love, healing story. We're in the peace, love business here. So who wants to go first? Is it Ursula? Is it Rachel?
I'll go first. So I am a registered nurse who runs a doctor's office, pediatric and internal medicine in my day-to-day life. And I will say that through COVID and everything, having a lot of anxiety and panic and terror and everything, I will say that with this year especially, I feel like I'm so much more mindful and I'm not as reactive to all this emotional triggers that come in at us all the time. And I feel that comes in with being more mindful in my meditation and being more present in my day-to-day life. So I know that's really off topic, but it just feels like I'm not as, oh my gosh, this life is so cancel. You know, it's just very like interesting how I'm not as reactive to things and I'm able to kind of bring it in and maybe not even bring in the energy of it, bring in maybe a thought and then it's reflect and realign. I'll say this is really for 2023. It's reflect and realign, reflect and realign. And I just feel so much more expansive now and more open to kind of what's next and be willing to kind of see what's on the horizon. I'm really excited for 2024. I'm very excited. Very excited. Go ahead.
Ursula, that was beautiful. Ursula?
Similar. I lived on an island for 10 years, you know, like decades ago, and it was horrible. It was terrible. It was just really rough. I was married. My husband wasn't available. He was angry all the time. So, you know, if you've ever been in a marriage and you're the only one in the marriage, it was it. So I didn't handle it very well because it was so stressful. But in this COVID plandemic, the isolation, I've done it so much better where I've expanded too, Rachel, like you know, it's just like this wave from inside rippling out. And then I'm tracking all the chaos and the, you know, all the nonsense that's coming up and out finally that's been buried and under surface. And now I think because of the age of Aquarius, there's this like boiling and bubbling and all the junk and garbage and secret stuff is coming to the surface. And that's why we're seeing all the chaos. But the part of the, you know, front that's causing it, we're holding the light and holding the light and holding the light. So I find a lot of my human stuff isn't interesting to me. Like I don't fuss about things. I'm just like quiet all day long, except for the things that I have to do. And I'm really at peace. And it's funny, I'm like, do I have an ego left? Like, what do I have to work on next? Because it's always hidden, right? There's always blind spots, but a lot of peace. I've expanded into peace and silence and being completely okay with the isolation because I don't feel isolated because of my, you know, the posse that we always have.
And which Caribbean island was it? Just not to get too off track, but which island was that in the Caribbean?
Antigua, and then I lived off of Antigua on a smaller island called Pelican Island.
Beautiful. Amy, how have you seen things shift, change, alter for the better?
Well, so this year was a rough year for me because it was very much a physical based year of learning. So for me, like I do love to be in spirit and you know, talking with my posse all the time, but it was like my year to figure out the physical on a more tangible, in a more tangible way. So it was a lot of growth and a lot of expansion in that way. And I'm really, really happy and proud of the work that I did this past year on myself. It's always been a part of my journey, working on the physical and getting healthy and things like that. And I've mentioned before, I was chronically ill for 30 years and I was able to heal myself. And actually I went and got my DNA sequence, and they were able to say that my immune system was that of a 28-year-old. When I was at 9 years old, my doctor said to me he wished he could take it out and replace it because it was horrible. So I've reversed those kinds of things, but there was just way more that I needed to learn about the physical body and things like that. And I've really appreciated and geeked out on some of it.
Now, I'm going to mention for Amy, and thank you, Amy, for that. In episodes 2, but I think it's more 34, or maybe it was 2, you've been scientifically tested for your psychic abilities, changing the pH of water, changing it back. There's a very rigorous, not just like one place either, I think, or it was one place for you. We had one other guest this year who was tested 3 different places and, passed with flying colors. I just wanted to mention that, but I also wanted to mention the Joe Dispenza week that you did. And I need you to plug that if you could, because it still resonates with me. When you talked about,
that's wonderful.
I'm like, oh my God, I love this concept of a whole week of immersed, a lot of it's meditation or listening or doing this or doing that. But can you share just how that 1 week actually did kick your butt, change things, and impact you? Even after you left the specific session, you went to your room, you were like reverberating.
Well, that was intense. Thankfully, though, because I speak with spirit often, I was like, okay, I know this is going to be a huge week in my whole life, like it's going to be very transformative. And I've done a lot of transformative things. But spirit had said Thursday and Friday are going to be specifically transformative for you. And so it was kind of like I was at a party for the first few days. It was like really cool and fun. And like I was, chilling or whatever. But then it was like, Thursday, we're doing this really tough work. But the transformations that I had were, it's hard to explain without telling you everything. But they just were so deep and so powerful and so profound that they changed me forever. That one, what Michael's talking about, I had to go back to my room because I had actually just like pulled in so much light that like I actually got nauseous and sick, that I then had to go up to my room and I passed out, and then I woke up and I was like vibrating, in my bed, but then I was fine. I came back into myself and I just was realigned in a different way. So I like how you were saying that, Rachel, about how it was just, what did you say? Respond and realign. Was that what? Reflect
and
right.
realign.
Yeah. Reflect and realign. And that was really what this year has been about, is like, what's working for you, what's not. And I've been challenging my mind and body this whole, like, I love doing that in general, but doing 36 hours of meditation with Joe Dispenza was amazing. Doing ice baths, I did 4 hours the first month that I did it, like total, not all at once. I've been doing fasting and things like that, just playing with my chemistry of my body and my mind over my body. Like, how can I keep mastering that? Because that's what I was shown the year before when I went for the healing energy healers test, was that I could do that.
Well, and I'm gonna not be glib here, so forgive me, but like spiritual peyote is basically what happened from that one session where you went back to the hotel room and you were like this afterwards, without the peyote.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely had like a trippy experience, for sure, which is what he's trying to do that day. Is like he has you using your melatonin that's soaking in your brain. And I actually came out of that meditation and I thought nothing happened. It just happened 3 hours later for me.
Yeah, and he's super connected. I'm not trying to rah Joe Dispenza here on the show. He doesn't need that from me. But he's been doing this a long time. He's very science-based, but I think, at least from what I've heard from that direction, is very connected, doesn't advertise it, and really does everything, more in a step-by-step scientific way. Ursula, how have you been caught off guard and had some sort of a transformational shift, whether it's in a day, over the period of a week or two, but in the last, like, we'll say 12 months? Can you share one more quick love story here? Transformation story.
It's more transformation than love. I just want to say, Amy, you seem like an athlete to me.
Yes.
Like the picture of health, like you could run, for hours and all of that stuff. So for you to tell me you're 30 years sick, I'm amazed, because you seem like the picture athlete, above average health condition. So
Thank you. I am
Awesome.
aging in reverse.
good.
I'm going to be 44 next year. So, that means I'm 43, right? I'm like a kid. I'm 43 and a half.
It's like, I'm 244 months old.
You'll be 44 in 20 years. Okay. Ursula,
or
what's
two,
that?
or 2044, right? We're all
Exactly.
like 2000 years old.
Oh,
so
I know, right?
coming back for fun. So this year has been rough for me financially. There's been ebbs and flows where, as we get more skilled in our craft and, have more sessions under our belt, it's just normal that our prices raise. So I just raised my price just naturally. And then it was like crickets. I'm like, where's everybody? Hello, hello. So it's, and that was a weird thing because it was several months, over the summer year months. And I was like, okay, whatever. And my growth, the love story is I didn't go into panic mode like I usually have in the past because I'm like, okay, this ebbs and flows. You understand that, right? Oh, and by the way, the economy, the whole world, it's not just you. And okay. And I just stayed with it instead of the panicking or, all of that stuff. So that was my growth period because in the past, like everybody's kind of has an issue. Like Amy, you were saying, yours is health. Mine has been money because I'm out on the edge, like doing radical things and spiritually the program, right? Because being monk and nun so many lifetimes, we didn't even handle money. So I'm like, you want me to do what this lifetime? Like what? So just managing and knowing. And then, so just now this year I can say, yeah, I know how to trust in spite of.
And I'll remind folks that, this is what I got from her, always options. So no matter what you think your situation is, no matter how concrete it is, how locked in, how no one could deny you the t-shirt that's going to say, I'm blanked, and you can fill in the blank there. That there's always broader options, outcomes. You just have to allow a little more. You have to get out of this, get into this. Rachel, can you talk to us a little bit about that or adding to what you just heard from the other two guests?
I want to say to Amy, she has been very inspirational for me since I've met her on our previous show and getting back to the body. And I really feel like for 2024, that's what I'm going to be focusing on as well. So thank you, Amy, and for just everything. I think it's amazing. And
thank you.
I'm excited for 2024. Let's see here.
We could geek out on fasting if you want.
I know. I really I just did. Yes, that's what
Mindy Peltz. I just want to plug her. She's also on YouTube. Mindy Peltz is amazing.
Mindy Peltz. We're gonna look
for women who are like 35 and above.
I love that. So for me, that's the one.
Yeah.
I love that picture.
Very first Mind, Body, Spirit panel. Two of our guests are actually coming back today. And I think Amy's been on a third. I'd have to go peek and cheat and look. But okay,
we keep hanging out. That's all I care about.
Keep hanging out. Exactly. Okay, Rachel, what do you got for us?
I want to say this. There's this guy on Instagram. His name is Jesse Eitzler, and he talks about how he does with his family, and for the year he picks one big huge goal, whether it's writing a book or maybe learning a new healing modality. I'm spinning it for us spiritual folks, maybe something like that. Like for me right now, I'm learning quantum hypnosis healing technique. Like that's what I'm focusing on.
Wow.
And then moving on to, every other month, picking something that you wouldn't normally do. Maybe it's doing a cold bath. Maybe it's, reconciling with your finances that you're going to be okay. Whatever that is, for me, I want to learn how to do glass blowing. I just want to do it. And picking something, a fun adventure every other month. And then maybe once a quarter, picking a new habit. So for this quarter, I've been more mindful in my reading and really kind of being more grounded in focusing on development, being more present. So, and just think about it. When the year's over, you've accomplished a big goal. You've maybe written that book. You've maybe, done whatever. You have 4 new habits that you can draw upon. You've had 6 mini adventures. Like, and that's what I've really kind of leaned into for this year going into next. And it's like, so I'll have to look up, Ursula. I'm excited to learn all about what she does, and maybe go to Michael for a session, and go to Amy and be like, okay, tell me more about fasting, because that normally that wouldn't be something I would do. But now I'm like, gung ho, let's go. I'm so excited.
That's so great.
Okay. 2 of you have used an expression that we can dive into for just a second. And I think Amy's going to want to join in on this because she has her own version of this. But Ursula says Alt Delete. And Rachel says cancel.
Delete. I say cancel,
delete.
Cancel.
And sorry, Alt Delete does something completely different. We don't know what that is, but we're not going to go there right now. We'll come back.
It makes a snapshot of us beautiful people.
Exactly. So cancel, delete, or no, cancel. I sound like I'm in Star Wars and I'm one of those droids, but okay. So let's have Ursula explain what that's about, because a lot of what we do, if we listen to somebody and we say, hey, tell me your life story. I've just put this on my website, by the way. Do not share your life story with me in an email. You're not going to get a response. You don't have to share that trauma with me. I don't need to hear your life story to get you 9 hours of answers on everything, plus to help you shift your own whatever. You get to own your own healing voyage, and angels do the most of the work. But you two have very specific ways that you help a person out of their structure and into the flow. So before I say any more, because I'm out of my league now, Ursula, talk to us about cancel. What's going on here? You help people, you read into what their background is, you help them reorient, you give them some good advice. Take it from there.
So I say cancel, delete.
Cancel, delete.
Our thoughts are actually thought forms. So we think, because we can't see them, if we were ultra clairvoyant, we would want to wear sunglasses all day. There's so many ways our body has energy spinning around and in circles and this and that. So a thought form actually has energy to it. So think of a worry thought. It's in your field, it's in our aura, and the worry comes along, and it's like, go away. And then we can make it go away, but there it is at middle of the night. Here it comes. So in our aura, we have thought forms, we have emotions that kind of just float around and stay there. So when we're clearing our energy field, we can do different modalities, but of course these thought forms typically are repeat, sometimes ancestral, right? And then when we're on spiritual path, we're becoming, our heightened awareness makes us more spiritual than just being a plain old, I'm going to ignore life and drink more, like however people handle stress. So when we become more responsible and we say, okay, what can I do to have a better life? What can I do to create more peace? What can I do? And it's the details, right? In art and athleticism, any kind of thing, it's all about tweaking. If we can catch our thoughts right in the minute and say, hey, what are you doing in my head? So something will pop out of our mouth, and then we can actually say cancel, delete. And even if you want to put a physical movement to it, that brings it to another physical level. There's more force in form. So we say cancel, delete. So that thought form goes, it collapses. So if I go, I shouldn't have said that, then it's like, yeah, ha. It's still here. But if I say cancel, delete, it's like smashing a bug or, telling somebody stop, you don't see me, I'm crossing the street. It's being firm about our boundaries in our mental 3-ring circus that goes on all day long.
Very cool. Okay, now, Rachel, it was very interesting. Both of you within a period of 5 minutes use these expressions just in our, maybe it was pre-show. And so I want to, for you, it's cancel, correct?
Correct. It's just a quick, easy mindset shift. If I'm slipping into a negative mindset and I don't want to bring that energy in, it's just cancel. And it's a reminder to me to shift out of it and to change what I'm saying, change my mindset. And, kind of like what Ursula's saying, for me, our thoughts create a reality, it gets embedded into our cellular tissue. So the body keeps the score. It's going to percolate into something else. And I don't want to bring that energy in. So it's, for me, it snaps me out of a negative mindset. It reminds me to be more hopeful and love and joy, and kind of shift it out. So it's like, Rachel, snap out of it. Stop it.
Okay. So cancel, delete, cancel, cancel. Now I'd add cancel, delete, Rockstar Fireworks, cancel, Rockstar Fireworks, because why not have Rockstar Fireworks from Angels right in your room right after you did that? Be surprised. Let the universe
like shimmy, 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 shimmy,
yeah,
shimmy. You
shimmy,
can
shimmy,
shimmy,
shimmy, Cocoa Pop. But to Amy, here we go, because we're also talking your language. This is exactly what you do. Can you share a little bit about your practice on this level, and also, again, structure, thought forms, stuff like that?
I really appreciate what they just explained, because that is really a quick way of shifting. I started out differently. So I had a rock in my pocket, and every time I touched the rock, I had to say what I was grateful for. And that helped me to train my brain and my thoughts. Because, you'd be paying for something, and then you have to shift your mindset to like, okay, hang on one second. I know this person wants my money, and I'm taking up, there's a line behind me, but it's about me really getting calm, getting centered, saying something I'm grateful for, and then continuing on. And probably nobody even noticed I was doing it, but like you feel that pressure, especially as a people pleaser. So I learned to like be selective. Ooh, what was that, Michael?
I felt that.
So I learned to select my thoughts more carefully. And so now if I have a thought like that, I don't say cancel, or cancel, delete, or any of that, but I might start doing that. It's a good reminder that that's possible. What I do is I look at it and I'm like, oh, look at you being, whatever, like trying to derail me, or say these things to myself. A lot of times we think when we have these thoughts that we have to believe them, but really what we can do is we can be like, oh my gosh, this is just childhood trauma, or this is just, what my mom used to say to me, or whatever. And it's not real. It's not really who you are. So you can just choose to like take it out like garbage, and continue on with your day, and how you want to feel and how you want to think. So, not only are you choosing to not have that thought, but also choosing how you do want to feel, or even just reminding yourself, like, is this really true? Like, that's what I like to ask myself is like, am I really failing at, my finances, or am I failing at losing weight or whatever? And it's like, no, actually, Amy, you just measured yourself the other day. And, for instance, like one of my growth things this year was I've lost 23 inches off of my body, which is, yeah. I lost a half an inch basically every single week. It was 24 inches almost. And, that's, to me, like the scale didn't budge that much. I mean, it was maybe a couple of like 10 pounds, 12 pounds, something like that. So like, I would have thought that I hadn't lost weight, but I had this other measurement, that I was taking to keep me on track. So if that thought comes in, I say, what is really true? That you are losing weight, you are changing your body, you are transforming, you are getting healthier, and that's what your goal is. So, having those little pivots where we can actually find the truth is really important, and reminding ourselves of that. So that's what I do. But I started out with, training my brain, because you have to do that. Because there's a lot of garbage up there. So recognizing where the garbage is hiding and take it out.
We'll let an angel bring some topics in just 1 second. I'm going to kick in 2 seconds worth of thoughts on ego. You can meet your ego. You're meeting it every day. It's never going to go away. Not to rain on anybody's parade, but you can do 5, 10, 7% according to angels, less thinking a day or week. But ego's playbook, very limited actually. If you ever want to pay attention or listen, or just back up a little bit and distance yourself from what you think is happening, you're going to find it's the same 40, 100, 150 max scenarios. And that is it. The playbook is boring. And ego is super sharp and cunning. It knows how to hit you right where you need to get hit, to be like in panic mode, maybe for weeks or months or decades at a time. Welcome to being human. But at the end of the day, it's not very smart. And if you offer it a hug, give it a name, 9-syllable name, your favorite opera star out of Brazil or Europe, Formula One race car driver, Fittipaldi, or Mr. Higglesworth. If you give that ego a name, and you have to respectfully do this, offer it a hug, it's gone. It doesn't want the love in the moment. And if you're generally know how to offer a hug, you're going to buy yourself 5 minutes, 3 minutes exactly of fresh air and expansion. I did this once. I had a giant Starbucks mug back when I was, I used to grab everybody by the lapel. I would grab all 3 of you 10 years ago and shake you by the lapel and say, what's happening to me? I'm seeing, I'm hearing, I'm feeling. I didn't know people could be psychic. Oh my God, I'm taking photos, blah, blah, blah. But so sort of a year or two in, when I'm a little more confident, I've got a full cup of coffee And I'm like, wow, I've taught people to do this, 100+ times. I'm feeling heavy, and these thoughts don't really belong to me. I'm a pretty happy, chirpy guy, whatever that means. And I'm like, I should probably use my own technique for the first time. So I'm like, hello, Mr. Higglesworth, the name that I gave to my ego. How are you today? Would you like a hug? But I did it too pushily. I was too pushy. And every fire alarm in my house, top to bottom in Austin, went off. And I literally was like, didn't spill any coffee. Had it been just 6 months earlier, I would have dropped that favorite mug of mine, shattered. It would have been that 1 in a million shot of coffee where I would have been cleaning 5 years later, discovering spots that had flown all over the place. Instead, it was this onto the counter, every fire alarm going off. I had a lifeline. I had a psychic down in south of Austin that was a professional. And I was like, what did I do wrong? And she was just like, you were like 2% too pushy. You were too cocky. You were shoving it to your ego. Your ego only knows one thing. That it doesn't deal in love. It's not here. And so all you have to do is understand it's that simple. And before we do an angel, I'm going to have that concept of this, your heart, you have a huge heart. Your heart's already with the program. It's Pele. If people know soccer, it's that #1 Verstappen, Formula One race car driver. Your heart is already a professional athlete. Pick whatever sport. It's a professional.
Tom Brady for you.
Yeah, Tom Brady. So
best quarterback ever.
How do we trust our heart more? I'm going to go to Ursula first. How do we just trust our heart more?
If we become our heart, that's the deal. Because then the ego's on the outside. So, like if we think of the spiritual column that's underneath the physical, so at the blueprint of us. And then you kind of lean, like, right, the chaos that we were talking about earlier, you just start leaning into that spiritual column, and you're like, you got my back, right? And it's that aliveness, that God essence that's in all of us. So the more, and how do we learn that after you've been, slugged and hammered and finally, right, crawling bottom of the barrel? And then you just like, okay, if that is here for me when that's happening, then I'm just going to hang out here every day because I know that's consistent. I know that's dependable. So when we lean into that and trust it and trust it and trust it, our heart starts knowing that. And then all this other stuff, we just let go, let go. You're constantly letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. And not caring. So unhooking from the attachment, what do other people think about me? And blah, blah, and blah, 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 blah. You just unhook from all of it. And you're like, I don't care. I'm just hanging out in bliss. And then that gives us new eyes to see things more clearly. And of course, it's more compassion happens across the board.
Okay. Now, Rachel, do you have a mantra you use to get into your heart that helps set that table so that, whether it's the beginning of your day, do you have a way that you wake up, do you approach? How do you get into your heart even more, or it's a turbulent, tough time? What do you do? What's your secret to success we can all share in? No pressure. No pressure.
I'm like, that's interesting. I do energetic meditations. So I say to myself, I awake in a dimension that is in harmony, and it may not be here, it may be somewhere else. So I kind of say that as I'm waking up, I'm waking up in a dimension that is, filled with the harmony vibration. I think to go off of Ursula's point, to be into the heart, I think can be hard if somebody isn't familiar with kind of feeling into their body. So I think first and foremost, you need to kind of make sure to get grounded, get centered, maybe taking some nice, deep cleansing breaths, and then feel, sense, or imagine yourself going into your heart. I think it just takes practice, going into your heart. Feel, sense, or imagine yourself going into your heart. And then you can really start feeling this, universal love and everything like that. I think that's important. Sorry, I was off topic. Yeah, so
no, it's good. It's good. And being out of our body is usually, I think I'm going to quote Paul Sugar, who's been on 3 panels. He's going to be doing his 2nd episode in January, but he was in earlier in the year, maybe episode 7, 50 years mindfulness meditation. He thinks that, the basic conundrum for us all is we're not in our heart, in our body enough. But most of our problems are experienced, up
here.
Yeah.
We're in our minds a lot. For people that are kind of just going like the overwhelm and the cog, being the cog in the wheel. Like we're thinking, and for your ego point, I put my ego as a conscious bystander. So I'm like, anything that I do, I'm like, okay, ego, you're a conscious bystander. And then I'm here and I get into here.
Beautiful. Okay. Now, if you're ready, because we could go on this topic for a while, we'll come back to it. Amy, can you get a topic from Joy? But could you get a hug to the point where you've got a classic yawn you do when you really let go? It's going to hit hard. Anyone can do this at home. Put your hand out, feel through 2 screens on your hand. But if you're resisting, you'll feel sparkle on your toes. It doesn't matter where you do it, how you do it. Just trust, let angels do their job. If you're an American watching, this should guilt you. Let angels do their job. You don't have to try. Breathe. Exhale like a whale if you need to let go. My only rule or structure is something like, angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Amen. Rock and roll. Thank you. Om Saram. Amy's getting hit hard. She's coming back in a second. What's the topic that Joy, who's the emotion Joy ambassador communicator, makes it all easy for you? If you play tennis, ask her to jump in your arm, hit a winner. But
is it me or did the screens jump?
They jumped.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't
Rachel
see
was
that.
putting her hand up, and then the ding
Okay.
Wow.
Zoom thing.
Listen, Joy wanted to bring in some energy, okay?
Yeah. So that's actually what I was just going to say is, she, obviously her name's Joy, and I am basically Buddy the Elf. I was going to come in my Buddy the Elf costume.
You were
I
serious. I
love
got that photo and I
this.
didn't know you were serious. I didn't read it that way.
I know.
love
And then
that.
when you responded, I was like, he's not as fun.
It
as
went
me.
over my head.
No,
Oh, man.
anyway, so she just wanted to bring up, like, how are we spreading joy on this planet? Like, how are we sprinkling the little bits of joy that is necessary to uplift everyone, because it is tough times right now for many reasons. So that's my question. I don't even know, other than just me. I love Christmas. And wearing silly costumes and telling stories and just being happy and smiling. Today I went for a run and I smiled at these people, just because I'm like, they need that. Everybody needs that. So.
Ooh, beautiful. Thank you, Amy. And Rachel, I got Joy for you here. What's she got for all of us? And you can then expand on, whatever the word is.
Whenever you show me Joy, I always go to that song, joy, 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 joy in my heart. Like I always go to the song, and I want to go back to Amy's point about bringing more joy to everyone, whether it's just a smile or maybe it's, just how are you doing? What I've done for this month is we are in Funcember 2023, and every day is a certain fun activity. So that's how I've been able to bring joy to the people that I'm around, just by elevating joy, being a little silly, being a little playful, reminding us, like I made all of our staff, we're all elves, with pictures of us and elf costumes and whatnot. Buddy the elf is there too. So and it's just fun, and people look at it and just raises that energy just a little bit more, getting us more into that joyful vibration, which percolates out to everyone around us. It's so important.
So not elevating, elf-evating. And to Ursula, here we go. Yeah, I know. The audience at this point is like, that's my highest click-off rate I've ever had on a show all year in 2023. They're like, that's enough. They're being too zany. Okay.
Elf-evating. I love that.
To Ursula, what do you got for us from Joy? And plus, can you get one really important reminder for those who are feeling it right now, this month, watching the show?
It's in there. I'm hearing it's in there. So see that light beam coming on down from her. Remember, we were talking about the spiritual cord earlier. And it's in us. So no matter what we're saying to ourselves, like the head thing that we were talking about, all that chatter up there, it's in us. It's in us.
Beautiful.
Imagine yourself going into that central column of light. That's another way to get connected. Imagine yourself pulling into that central column of light.
And let me think you can close your eyes and let your eyelids be the movie theaters. But if you need a distraction, like light a candle first, or say a prayer, or words to the heart, same difference. If you're religious, that's great. If you're not religious, that's great. If you don't even like the word spirituality, that's fine. This is just about letting go, getting into the flow, call it artistic, athletic, but there's a universal flow. And then I will add one more thing. There's lots of love And a quote given by Mary, I think, said, like, love is everywhere. Open your eyes to see love. What a beautiful reminder that is. Because most of the time we're too busy on an iPhone. This situation, Frank, Sally, Harris, this person overseas, the domestic situation there, wherever you put your focus, you're actually, if it's a Monopoly game, you're handing out your dollars. Yeah. Save your dollars, focus on what's important, decide what's important. It's back what Rachel talked about with all her, every other month picking something. Decide how you're spending your energy in a smarter way. It only has to be 5%, 7% a week, a little less thinking, a little more love, and you'll have more fun. Here's Charlotte, everybody's favorite school teacher from third form. If you're in Canada, Australia, third grade, if it's America. She's here with words of wisdom meant to help you expand. She's a rock star, a little bit older. I saw her in a Starbucks in Austin once, dressed in Santa Fe, New Mexico garb. She stood out like a sore thumb, I guess is the expression. I'll never forget it as long as I live, but she is fun. Tough taskmaster for me at the beginning. Super cool, but you can ask a question here and answer. Let's have Ursula go first with Charlotte. What's the topic or her reminder for us all?
Ugh. So I said, teach me. And she said, there's nothing to learn.
Oh, I love that. You already have it all within, and you just have to remember something. Good luck remembering to remember, if you remember, when you remember. Rachel, what are you getting from Charlotte?
Be present, and presence matters.
Especially this time of year. Okay. Yeah, there was a pun there. Okay.
I got it.
Amy.
Got it. Rachel got it. I got it. Amy,
what do you got from Charlotte?
In bliss.
She was just talking about being happy and how important it is to just come back to center and just not take things so seriously.
Beautiful. Okay, now, since this came up earlier, I think it was Rachel, Harmony, she was mentioning her morning routine. There's actually an angel named Harmony. There's a grace, there's a faith, there's a hope, there's a joy. You're seeing a pattern. There's a Presley who came in on Elvis Presley movies for me. Good luck her having a normal name like hope, faith, joy, grace, and so on, because Presley is the interconnectedness of all. That is a mouthful. Poor her. So let's tip our hats to her. Meanwhile, here's Harmony. Who's Harmony? She chose, of course, tranquility as her word. Go figure. Angels are never straightforward and easy. I'm kidding. Okay. Ursula, what are you getting from Harmony?
I'm coming.
Yeah, no, you're getting it. I can see it on your face.
Give me a second. Yeah, my cheeks turn red all the time. See the rings there. She's got some rings on the outside, like iris rings, but it reminds me of the somatic, where they put the salt or the sand on the sound, and then the waves come out. So the harmony is in the sound and the movement, because I'm always thinking sound and light, but she's telling me also in the movement, right? In that vibration, there's movement. It's time for us to move the energy. That's what I'm getting. Thank you.
Okay, Rachel.
So as she's saying this, I'm going through a lot of physical things. Like my lights keep flickering and my feet are being connected to the ground, and I'm having a lot of physical sensations.
Could you can we guinea pig you here real fast for the audience, and people can do this at home? Ask for 3 hugs. Sandbag the first 2, go tiny, so you're in control. The third, be like, hey, I'm ready. Give me the big enchilada. I'll take my Christmas present now. But you might yawn, you might shake, some people reverberate a little. Breathe through your mouth, 1 millimeter open, just a little is my advice for people at home. Unofficial rule. Breathe, breathe, breathe. If you're holding on to anything, you're like, how do these professionals do it? I'm not good. Exhale like a whale. You're as skilled as the next person.
Oh, just a whale exhale.
Yeah. Low spout, hole in one spot.
I'm like,
did you get it,
awesome.
Rachel? Did you feel it?
Yeah, I'm on fire.
She's groovy. Good. Yeah, Amy, I don't think we did Harmony yet, so let's talk Harmony.
No, I've never seen her before.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I just lots of love. I love it.
Good. Can you ask for something private from her that's really cool for 2024? A little advice. You keep it to yourself, and then you might get one extra thing from her for all of us, but go ahead and get something for yourself and just say, got it when you got it.
I got it.
Good. And then can you get one more thing? What's her favorite mantra to remind us all, live? Life's not a routine. Live it. I'm borrowing from another angel. I think that was Colleen who said that. Okay, what's Harmony have for us for one final little reminder before we go to a Pacific Princess?
I mean, it was just love is all there is, like just expansion and being in your heart, like just come back to what you truly are.
Bam. Okay, we're going to get back to normal panel operations in a second, but one more. Pacific Princess, my guardian angel, white ball light on the website. Min, don't make it hard. It's the hardest name out of 170 figures. Minwala, it's Min like Minnesota, Lakota Sioux word for water. Awala is a Polynesian morning glory. But I think in Hawaiian, it's Ua and La, it's rain and sun. So rainbow, it's water rainbow, water morning glory. You can tell I've never done this before. The bottom line is call her Min. She's like a Pacific Princess, a little bit of Hawaiian spirituality in there. If anybody's gung-ho and has already gotten something so far, put your hand out, feel what you can feel. But ask for Hawaii to come in. The highest vibration of Hawaii. If you want it to be healing, why not? Why settle for a one-time transaction? Why settle for $10 when you can have $10,000 put into your bank account right now? It's emotional. Don't look to me for your bank account to have an extra 10,000 in a moment, but this is the emotional bank account. Ask for Hawaii to sweep in. Feel what you can feel. Ursula, what are you getting from Min as a reminder? She's a very soft-spoken professor.
When you're bringing in Hawaii, I'm like, wow, what's that plume above the island? So it's like a circle, and then the island is acting like a pyramid, but lower. And then I said, oh yeah, they have volcanoes there. And then they are showing me that it's really a vortex. It's one of the spots on the planet that's almost its own chakra, if you will. So there's a lot of energy there, and then grounded in the tiny island, but then the fire also is there. So it's more special than we think it is. And they just showed me just energetically what's going on there. So then your question was like a personal one, and I'm like, oh, then how can I be more like Hawaii?
And you can have Hawaii come in and be in your field. So I'm going to have, if you guys don't mind, we'll do the kumbaya thing one more time. Hands up, feel in your energy zone, your field. Feel the most, I hate to use this word, but magical, off the charts, dimensional, transdimensional, but incredible love, 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 higher than the word love itself. Come in. Oh, Rachel got a yawn in there. That's good. Ursula, have you yawned yet today? Because we
every time I look at Amy, she's yawning. And then
That's what I do.
Good. And this isn't a snooze fest. We're doing good. Okay.
Moving energy.
Min to Rachel. What have you got for us, Rachel? Anything you want to share? Don't feel too obliged.
I'm just being connected to, like, this is what's coming in. It's just like this, the seed of my soul. Like, I'm just being connected to work with my soul. And yeah, I can feel it where I'm sitting. Like, it's very interesting.
I had somebody who's a guest on the show, I can't say who earlier in the week, but from another country, who got a tattoo, not literally from angels, but in their energy field. You know, the tapping that takes place in an indigenous tattoo takes forever. So angels can do this in about 30 seconds. So if you'd like a holiday gift, I'll put up 3 photos, 4 if I can fit in Harmony. You can receive a small tattoo somewhere on your energy field. Think of it as a body. You might get a little rose. You might get a duck. I don't know. But it represents something broader than just the image of a duck. It could be this week. It was done twice, actually, so that it was, what do we call it? Manifesting dollars was one. Just the no limits attitude towards life and the flows. But you'll get a personalized thing. You don't have to share much, but you could just say what it is, where it is. One person got wings on each shoulder. Now, remember, what would take 8 hours for a real human to do this? One, you don't have to go get a tattoo removed tomorrow if you didn't like it. You looked in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, I got a bad design. Not it. This is just going to be in your energy field, except it's pure light and love. Let me give you guys a holiday gift. I'm checking to see if, yeah, I got it all on the screen right now. Feel what you can feel. Don't judge. Breathe through your mouth a little extra if you want it to go a little faster, a little deeper. It's the equivalent of Wonder Woman getting the headband or those bangles that bounce bullets off. You're getting gifted a really cool thing on your energy field. For Rachel, I'd give the example of being impervious to the chatter in the hospital place, the medical place, because people come in with their stress and they dump on you guys all the time. This is being so impervious that when you get this tattoo, you never even think twice. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're a saint. You start hearing that 5 times a week and everyone starts laughing. Except you, because you got this tattoo. And the first one is done. Let me know.
All set.
Who got their hummingbird? Anybody? No hummingbird. Okay. Anybody want to share what they got from angels? Did you even feel the tapping a little, or did you just get a little presentation?
I got
I
a
got a-
presentation.
I got a bell.
Ooh, nice. And that's very holiday-esque. What's Joy say about your bell that you can share? Keep it private if it's meant to be private. Don't share what you're not supposed to.
Bring it whenever you need us.
Hmm.
Cute, amazing. Wow. Might go down as a top 10, if not the top moment of 2023 in the regular shows. And you're watching the Mind, Body, Spirit panel. So, of course, there's a public service announcement. Subscribe right now. Even hit that notification thing. I've
And
never
share.
said that in 2023. You're going to get notified when the material hits, which is this panel today. You need to enjoy it. Okay. Ursula, what can you share with us? Where did that tattoo end up?
You just said enjoy it, and then you gave us the joy card. I got a treble, the musical symbol, and I'm a dancer. I'm not a musician, so I was like, oh, that's curious. And right on my heart, like right next to my jewelry thing here. So it's just a little cute one, and I will develop that relationship and see what that's all about. More dancing, more musical is the thing that I heard at first.
Beautiful. Wow. Oscar level. Okay. Amy, no pressure on you whatsoever. You obviously didn't get a hummingbird tattoo. You would have reacted. What'd you
No,
get?
I'm sorry. No, actually, I was pretty surprised by it. I'm getting a logo designed right now, and I've been working on it a lot. And actually, that was the one that was brought to my energy field and tattooed on me. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So that was cool.
Okay. Now, if each of you want to look up, ask Charlotte and Joy if you've got this, but you can each look up. Everyone's got a ceiling where it meets the corner, whatever I'm trying to say, up in the corner up there, whatever's furthest away from you that gives you the most room to see. See that image made out of light. If it's pink light, you know Joy did it. If it's blue, you know Charlotte did it. If it's a mix or rainbow light, all your angels are coming in. Ask for some fireworks, ask for some holiday cheer. The point is, see what you can see. If you need help people breathe through your mouth, 1 millimeter opens enough. Just breathe, 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 breathe. One person last year got upset at me for ever suggesting that, but guess what? It's a great technique for just subconsciously letting go. Extra, we all shut our mouths trying, and I have to remind people 60 times in an hour, every minute, to let go, breathe, relax. I basically bang a drum. Who saw what just now? Oh my gosh. Rachel, you're going first. Did you get it done? You saw a little
I just have a lot of gold light that's coming in. So it's just like a lot of gold light that's coming in.
I didn't do it. Okay, Ursula.
That corner, my walls are yellow, and that corner was pink. Then the edges disappeared, and then this light that's closer to me here started going like that in my mind's eye.
Oh, you fried me just now. I've got goosebumps everywhere. Oh my God. Did anyone else feel that when she said it? Amy, we're all connected right now. So just keep it high,
Yeah.
keep it positive. Amy, what'd you see?
I saw my logo.
Oh, good. Okay. I lied when I
Amazing.
said we were done with angels, but that doesn't mean we're done. We're doing Native American chiefs real fast. Not that we're trying to speed up spirituality at all. I know it's supposed to be sacred and special, and I should be revering it even more. It's my opportunity for growth personally, and I'm running out of oxygen on that sentence. Okay, Dull Knife, wisdom with some humor. Native American chief, unconditional love, spirit guide. These guys know how to. There's 3 of them. Red shirt, gentlest mom in the world, compassion, compassion, compassion. And Geronimo. Last but not least, action, 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 dry wit, humor. I've got an older photo of him. I'll wrap it out or round it out with him later. But you can get any answers to anything. You can get a blessing. You can feel a healing vibe come in, or just staying power. So pick something that it would be wonderful for you. It could be just getting through all your projects, logo development, business branding, business. Wow, you guys are rock stars. Who wants to put a hand up first and say, here's what I'm connecting with Dull Knife on?
Can I say something funny?
Yeah.
So you were saying joke, right? He's making a face. It's the first time I've seen this. He's making a face like he just told a joke, and he's like, get it? Right? See on that face?
Uh-huh.
And bring the next guy up.
Oh, that's funny.
Bring the next guy up. He's like listening to the joke, right?
What?
And then bring your third guy up. He's like, oh, I don't think that's funny.
Okay, what are you getting from Dull Knife right now as a final reminder for us all to wrap out, round out 2023?
Energy is stronger than words is what I got from him.
You got this.
Oh, beautiful. Rachel, no pressure. What do you got?
I'm just getting let it be, man.
Okay, red shirt, when you do this, you can catch a special sacred smell. There's like 50, 60, 100 of them if you could name all those things. You know, sweetgrass, juniper, leather, tobacco, sage, wildflowers. It's red shirt, Lakota Sioux chief. This is a U.S. presidential medal. I think Teddy Roosevelt. He and Geronimo, the day after this photo was taken Pennsylvania Ave, horseback, parade in Washington, D.C., blah, blah, blah. Gentlest mom in the world. He's so soft-spoken. But catch a smell. If you want to get a little bit of a beat in the air, drums, something sacred where you're feeling, you can even feel a couple supportive hands on your shoulder. Have Joy come in, moderating or assisting. She loves these guys. And Ursula, what are you getting?
It's a beautiful smell, like a perfumey something. It's just really, I've never smelled this one before. It's very, very nice.
If
And
you'll
then
reach
I
out
got-
and grab it, you can have it and have a chat with Red Shirt after the show on how to bring it in again and again so that you like it. It's
And then I
stable.
got some flute going doot, 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 doot. Like they have a thing that they do, and it's a flute, like breaking up the energy. They do it in beats. That's what I got.
Incredible. Rachel.
I'm getting like a campfire smoke, but I'm also getting like honeysuckle.
I got a very sweet smell.
Gorgeous. And Amy, you're going to round it out for Red Shirt here. What's a final reminder to us all? He's very much about being in the heart and like letting everything be as it is and enjoying the ride.
Being in your authenticity just keeps coming up just over and over when you bring these pictures up, is just being true to who you really are. Just like emanate that.
Okay. Now, anyone at home can do the following exercise. I'm making this up. I've never done this before, but make a fist. Represents thinking an obstacle. Go ahead and put inside the fist that relative who's asking you for money every day, or the car that doesn't work, or the situation this, or my book, I'm stuck on the last chapter, or the marathon. I haven't been able to run it. I've dropped out every time. Pick something incredibly hard, whatever. We're going to have Geronimo come in, have him address this. And by the end of, I'm going to get older Geronimo in a second. We'll have him come in and we'll be able to open up the hand and let it go out of your field of energy. And with this, have Geronimo go ahead and give you, if any of you want to open your hand early, yeah. Ursula, what did Geronimo give you for that obstacle?
His gun kind of exploded it, because remember the thought forms I was saying, how it's formed. So it whatever that form was, he took this little thing and then it kind of popped like a dandelion seed thing.
Gorgeous. Thank you for that. Rachel, your hand's open. So what'd you get from Geronimo?
I'm just getting this like, psh, like, psh.
And we're not going to ask you to do that again because you already did it twice. And I love the sound effect. It worked and it totally made the point. But you let go. This is thinking. This is the heart. What a great way. I mean, and I think in Zen stuff from 880, I don't know how, Joe Shu, all the Zen stories. There's a student who learned it's the one thing. It's Billy Crystal, City Slingers, and Jack Palance said the one thing. And in the end, they're like, well, what's the secret? What's the one thing? And he goes, well, whatever makes your heart sing, essentially, was the answer. But in the Zen story, there's a kid who tried to imitate the Zen master because he never gave words. He was like, it's this. And this is the secret to it all. And there's a whole Buddhist like school based on this. Well, the student imitated it and got his finger chopped off. Now, what the point of that is, I don't know. It's the Zen stories, but they remind you that it's not about words, not about structure, not about details. Be in your heart. And it's easy, it's hard, it's whatever you allow it to be. It takes us decades if we're trying to do it, but you do it all the time without trying to do it every day. Amy, what did you get from Geronimo? What did you
He unzipped it. He unzipped it and was like, you know that this is not really what's here, what's there. What the problem is really the gold that's inside. Like, figure that out.
Beautiful. And then to wrap it up with all the figures and stuff, we'll get back to a normal conversation in just a second. Here's older Geronimo, and this should be pretty powerful. Get what you can get from him, and if you could share with us.
I get just that he sees me, for who I really am. And that's just very powerful, just being seen for who you really are.
Beautiful.
Whoever-
Ursula, what are you
whoever
getting
may be.
from older Geronimo?
All we have to do is love. Look how much love is in his eyes. Like
Mm.
all we have to do is love each other. That's it.
Rachel, last but not least, what are you getting from Geronimo? And could you get a special gift from him? Just something quiet. You don't need to share anything, but it might just fly across the room or it'll be around you and you've just been gifted.
I don't have it. I just have a feeling of just the heart opening more. It's like this rainbow like field of light that's wrapping us all up.
Ooh. And I'm going to show one photo that I have only just sent around today. I think some of you got it from me today. Here it is. This photo, if you could let angels come in, put a hand up to it. Some of you have this from Messenger. I actually just sent that as a little bonus fun shot. I like to send random photos. I will do the big reveal what this really was. It was a hummingbird feeder made out of blown glass, speaking of Rachel. And I went up really close to it, and I have some more steady shots. This was sort of an off hue, but brighter. And if anybody wants to share one thing, we don't have to get too into this for the photo, but what are you feeling? Are you feeling light, 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 universal light?
I feel like I'm feeling the ripple of energy coming out from it right before you even mentioned the ripple of it.
Beautiful. And here's the standard. I like more mainstream color, so I love that I'm shooting my own art in the foot here, so to speak. I mix my metaphors. Here's the primary kind of color one that I love, and this is also the same genre. Feel what you can feel. For folks at home, put your hand out. If you want, close your eyes and have this light show up in your eyelids. If you want, if you trust that your crew is with you, you have a ginormous cheerleading squad, not just relatives, not just guides, Native American chiefs, figures from India, angels, maybe it's Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Sai Baba, Mother Teresa. Just ask for them to sock it to you. Lots of love, look out for you, and to help you slow down where it's appropriate. Take stock, pay attention. Don't commit your energy. I think that's really what everyone here today has been advising. And we're going to get back to that as to sort of a final last category on the game show here called Mind, Body, Spirit Panel number 9 in 2023 with Amy Stark, StarkTransformation.com, Ursula Lentine, UrsulaLentine.com. Multi-generational healer, has had many lifetimes, super cool. And also Rachel Garrett, nurse, RN, CCH, AkashicAngels.com. She's also got the Spiritual Spotlight series, like Amy's got the Stark Transformation show. All of you are wonderful, but how can we run with that final topic? Amy, what have you got for us for about...
What's the final topic?
Oh, I was hoping you remembered. I don't remember at all. Does anybody remember where the thread was? I lost it in the last 30 seconds. Excuse me. It's living more, loving more. Let's just go with that. How can we put it all together and yet trust our crew? We have a giant crew to carry our load more. You can put your thoughts onto their backs. They'll carry everything for you so you can get clear enough to shift your consciousness. Is it Einstein who said the consciousness that recognizes a problem or is experiencing one is not the same consciousness that can look in the rearview mirror and say, hey, that's done. I've moved on. And then, by the way, you get 3 more problems because that's welcome to human being, ebb and flow. You're never just going to go 100% clear sailing for 50 years, although some people do. So allow for it. Amy, what's your final bit of reminders for us on how simple it all really is? Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, the 2 things that I would recommend for people other than training your brain is EFT, emotional freedom technique. It's one of the things that you can do to empower yourself and get rid of that trash. The things that have, what's that? Oh, Michael, I gotta teach you it. Those aren't the points.
I know.
I'm like, what is he doing?
He's putting perfume on, and you're like, no, wrong spot.
Yeah. So when we have this, the issues that are in the tissues, like Rachel was saying, when we have this energy that is stuck in our body, we will show up differently than if we were to release it and rewrite that energy and that programming that comes with it. And the way that we see the world will change. And each shift that you make will eventually make this massive shift in your life that you're looking for. So each time you do your inner work, you're getting closer to where you really want to be. And meditation goes hand in hand with that, because taking time to be present with your thoughts, observe your thoughts, recognize, like, if you're feeling pain, that it might be teaching you something, that there might be, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, spiritual pain, it's something to pay attention to give it more love. And then you'll get the golden nuggets that are from it. And then you can move forward.
Everything is your instruction and opportunity for love and growth, or more love. Good luck with that again. Ursula, what do you got for us?
From Geronimo, what he just said, all we have to do is love everybody. So especially moving into the holidays and, seeing people that maybe you don't get along with very well, or that there's a history or whatever. But the amount of love that was just coming out of his eyes was so easy. Like, why do I choose, right, this reaction? Because we don't realize, like you said, we think we have to pay attention to the thoughts and that they're real. So these things that are coming up, the emotions or the thought patterns, we can say cancel, delete, and then no, I choose love. I choose love, especially with our relationships that we have difficulties with. I choose love. How can we love? Knowing, right? Life happens, blink of the eyes. Somebody could pass quickly. So let me love them right now, right here. Instead of get upset, instead of get this, instead of that, I'm just going to choose love.
Rachel.
I'm going to say, in this time going into the holidays and with a lot of turmoil and chaos going on right now, is just, let things go that no longer serve you. Let it go to God, let it go to whomever you believe in. Let them fill you with love, fill you with support, and really truly know that you're not alone. And to kind of go off Ursula's point, if you're going into the holiday season, being around people you don't want to be around, you can say no and don't go be around them. It's okay. Don't go. Don't put yourself in situations where you're going to feel uncomfortable and overwhelmed and in panic and stress. Like, be around people who support you, love you, and want to truly be with you.
Gorgeous. Okay. Last wild exercise here. You don't need photos of angels or Geronimo, although you can find them website all over this channel and so on. Who wants to volunteer, or you can all do this at once? Just ask Joy, Geronimo, your whole crew to come in. Who wins out if it's a little bit of a tussle? They're arm wrestling to get your attention, but only one can come through. Is it Joy that you hear, hey, I'm here? Or is it Geronimo saying, duh, I won out, I'm here? Who wants to go first? And it's a last, like, you could feel a hand on your shoulder. You can just get a whoosh, a last flower smell, a Christmas cookie smell that you're like, oh my God, I'm hungry after this. I'm eating after the panel. Who wants to go first? Is it Joy, Geronimo coming through? Is it Charlotte? Is it Min? Is it somebody else? Archangel Michael? Who'd you get?
I got Min.
Nice.
I love Joy.
I'm going to say I pivoted, and I have Faith coming in, and she's blessing us with serenity. And and I'm getting a very sweet smell.
Beautiful. Is there any last topic, a mention, something people should look forward to coming up? You want to share from your personal side, what's going on, an event coming up? This airs later today, so you're on target, on time.
Oh, wow. I should have worn my Buddy the Elf costume.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm going to just try to mention, we've had 9 panels this year. Please check those out. Incredible experts sharing. There's a bubble. I have to mention that the last one was Dr. Leanne Whitney, who is incredible background. She's taping her show in 2024. Ewan Brioch, the Welsh theater director and also non-duality teacher. And Paul Sugar has been on 3 of these, and he is just such a fun individual. I know I had to take a 2-hour nap after that panel. I know that Paul had to take a 2-hour nap after that panel. I'm pretty sure if both of us got wiped out, Leanne and Ewan also took not emotional or energetic hits. This isn't bad, but a lot was happening and swirling around. So I'm going to ask us all to do a kumbaya last thing. Holiday spirit, only our highest vibes, only unconditional love. It's really Joy, Charlotte, Geronimo at my end, vibing out with you guys. Let them carry my light or the universal light your way. But if you can feel what you feel, don't judge, and feel the vibe. Yep, only the highest intent. Everyone
Can we send our love to the viewers who are watching this?
Please do. Take us through that, Ursula. You've got I don't know how to say it right. Not chaplain, not minister. You've got that background as well.
Yeah, I'm a reverend. So let's knowing who we truly are, right? Like you had said earlier, Amy, knowing who we are and knowing that our blueprint, our energy code, this body is temporary. So from that heart-centered knowingness, with all the work all of us have done, we project this loving kindness onto people who are on their path, people who are struggling, people who wish something, people who don't know, people who are overwhelmed. It's simple, it's love. We share our work that we've done with you. We transfer it over to you. It's just that easy. Opening our hearts, opening your hearts, receiving, just like inhaling air, receiving the love that we have for you, for all of humanity.
And I'll add, we're sending it to the angels out there that are everybody's angels, because it was Teresa Shantz, who's been on the show twice as well, who had the most amazing insight. Send the love, send the vibe, send the energy Reiki, whatever you want to call it, to the angel team for that person, not necessarily directly to that person. Angels know how to distribute it just perfectly. So I'm going to do, I don't think anyone this year has done this. We're sending our love and light to all the angels, I don't know, tens of thousands, all shapes, sizes, colors from all over the place. But they all do one thing, unconditional love. And a half of them are like this for, oh my God, when's my poor ward going to wake up and use me one day, this lifetime? But we'll send the light to those angels because I know they'll take it. This just does not happen. Who sends it? Angels love. And then, you know, whatever they can spare, pass it along to the human. I'm cracking someone up right now. So in Toledo, subscribe, please. In Canada, definitely subscribe. Make all the neighbors subscribe as well. And in Europe, not that we want to force it. Free will is the most important thing, but you can still slip it in there. Go to their computer and hit subscribe for them when they're not looking. Do it. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers, not just year's end, but whenever. And that is it. I want to thank all of you. We've had Rachel Garrett, Ursula Lentine, Amy Stark. You three are fabulous. Thank you for sharing your energy, your love, your joy, your path with all of us.
Love you, Michael. Thank you,
Thank you
ladies.
so
It's been
much.
wonderful
You're the
hanging
best.
out with you and meeting you,
Yes.
Ursula.
Yes, nice.
Rachel,
Very
great
good.
to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Michael, you're the champion. You really,
Yes.
really know how to bring it and just give, give, give. You're very generous and beautiful and silly and funny and deep and real and
Get them over that
handsome and
2,000 subscribers. Let's go.
So
Like
be
Yes,
it.
let's go to
subscribe.
10,000. We might as well
Let's
just
go
say
to
it
a
now.
million. Let's go.
Go to the
10x,
millions.
10x.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you all again.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and everyone at home, just play this over again and do the photos. You've got this. You don't have to have the photos, but angels are here 24/7, just like love. You only have to pause long enough out of the train up here to enjoy the view. Thank you.
And